Hello, everybody. Welcome back to The Way That I See It. This is my podcast. My name is Lucy Superfox, and thank you so much for joining me. So first things first, this episode is a bit of a weird one because I was like, this is so weird. Normally, I know exactly what I want to talk about when I come on my podcast. I normally know exactly what I want to say. And today I felt really conflicted about which direction to go in. I've got so many things going on. I've got like a new launch of a well-being program called Thrive. I've got, the money course is getting a revamp, ready for a relaunch kind of later on this month. So I was like, what do I want to talk about? And I was thinking today about health, and kind of the quote that always springs to mind is, if you don't take care of your wellness, then you'll be forced to take care of your illness, right? And I was thinking about this in terms of growth and in terms of manifestation. And so many people are obsessed with manifesting things and stuff and things, but without actually giving an F in the world about how they are in their body, how they feel about themselves, their well-being, whether or not they're taking care of themselves, whether or not they're getting enough sleep. And it was at this point I really thought that I wanted today to talk to you about how health and manifestation are connected. Because if I can show you how taking care of your well-being and your health will impact you manifesting the stuff and things, because I love the stuff and the things. I've got handbags and shoes coming out of my ears, right? So, but what I want you to know is the power of when you connect health and manifesting, because those two things are directly connected. So let's think about this simply. So your body is related to a machine, right? It's kind of an operating system. So let's call it a laptop. It's much like a laptop, right? And the laptop has programs, and these are your habits, these are your beliefs, right? And it also has kind of an operating system that runs the show without you really knowing. And that's your autonomic nervous system. So that's your nervous system that basically tells the computer, okay, something's wrong, or actually let's load this properly. And that autonomic nervous system is programmed from the things that we have done as a young child, in terms of everything down to how we eat, how we sleep, what we've programmed ourselves to do, and how we've chosen to behave in certain situations. Like, our autonomic nervous system is simply automatic. That's the way to describe it. And then on top of that, we've obviously got the programs that we've created. So our habits, our beliefs, our patterns, our behaviors. And then obviously we've got our soul, we've got our feeling. And that's the bit that, laptops hopefully won't have for a little while, but let's call that Siri, right? If you've got an Apple, let's refer to that as Siri. And now you're going to be like, Lucy, my phone's talking at me because you've said Siri. And so what I want you to think about though, is that with that analogy, if you got a virus, or if your laptop got a virus, you'd be like, shit, I've got a virus, got to clean it up, got to clear the desktop, got to clear the cache, got to clear the cookies, got to fragment the disk, or all these things I don't really understand. And you'd be like, you'd get it done, right? But we are not taking that approach when it comes to our own daily well-being. Most people are obsessing over making a few hundred extra pounds a month or hitting a new business goal. They're not drinking enough water. They're not getting enough sunlight. They're not getting a quality sleep. They're not getting enough movement or enough exercise, and they're not getting a quality nutrients in their diet. So if you aren't looking at the big five and seeing how that is impacting or affecting your manifestation, you are missing a trick. So everything in our body is vibration, right? So we vibrate at a frequency, and a frequency that we vibrate at is controlled by two things. So number one, how we physically feel in our environment and our experience. And number two, how we emotionally feel in our experience and our environment. So emotionally, if you are good, you are happy, but on a physical level, you're drained, you're tired, your capacity for things, you've got short temper, short fuse, you feel like maybe you're up and down, maybe you're hungover most weekends. Like, if that's you, your ability to hold a strong, powerful vibration is massively restricted because of what you are doing to your body in a physical sense. Now, look, I'm not perfect, not here sat on a silver perch telling you that I never drink wine, or I never don't have a crap night's sleep, or I never don't, have a party. Of course I do. But what I want you to understand is that people are so obsessed with the minutiae, the small things around manifestation, that they actually forget that the biggest thing that you can do to create impact on your manifestation is to change your physiological, physical, and emotional energy. And the way that you do that is, number one, by taking care of yourself and making well-being a number one priority in your life, or at least in your top three. Number two is to be doing your personal development, spiritual development, emotional development. Guys, this is why I launched the Becoming program. It's both of those things put together, right? And if right now you feel like you don't need the personal development bit, feel like you've got that down, then my new Thrive program, which is partnered with four other amazing coaches. We've got hormone specialists in there. We've got PTs, we've got naturopathic nutritionists. You obviously got my mindset side of things, but all of those things together in a wellbeing program called Thrive. That, if that's where you need to stick. So you've got number one, well-being, number two, your personal and professional development, and, emotional development. And then really your number three priority after that is your clear intention, is your habits, your reprogramming. So those three things are what impacts your manifestation. So what most people do is try to work on the mindset, which is amazing. And look, all for it. You're never going to create something that you don't believe you can have. You're never going to change what you're available for until you change what you're available for, right? But there's an energy that comes with that. And as you know, and I've said this 1,000 times on my podcast, the nervous system is not interested in words. That autonomic nervous system is programmed behaviors and experiences and reactions into your nervous system. So when we are looking at changing your response to things or changing what you're available for, you also need to change the energy which you bring to things. And that means you have to do the body work and the clearance work. And a big part of that clearance work, yes, is somatic stuff like Reiki and, all the things I've listed before: Reiki, acupuncture, aromatherapy, exercise, all the things. But it's also just physical well-being. Like, guys, if your bowels aren't moving regularly, you are holding on to negative energy. If you're not going to the toilet and weeing regularly, you're not flushing out toxins, you're holding on to negative energy. If you're not digesting food properly because your gut health's up shit creek, you're holding on to negative toxic energy. If your skin is terrible and breaking out, that means internally something is imbalanced, whether it's your hormones or your gut health, right? And that means you're holding on to negative energy and your body's not in an optimal state. So you have to make well-being a priority if manifesting, shifting, changing and growing and designing a new life is something that you actually want. Because, and look, I've seen it work both ways. I've seen people make mindset shifts and that's affected them physically. I've seen people make physical shifts and that's affected them in mindset. But what about if you just did both? What about if you actually just sat down and went, right, my number 2 priorities are my professional and my personal and emotional development and my well-being? What about if they were the 2 things that you focused on rather than trying to manifest extra money? What about if you sat down and made those 2 a priority in a really considered, intentional process for a period of time that it became automatic? What about if you became a well-fit, healthy person and you became somebody who was always in the pursuit of growth? Do you not think that manifestation, whether it's money, wealth, a new job opportunity, a new partner, would be an extension of that? I truly believe that what most people think is that we're waiting for our manifestation to come to us. And I saw this the other day and I cannot tell you where I saw it. I wish I could quote it. And it was, how about maybe our manifestation is waiting for it to come to us? What about if it's waiting for us to become a match for it rather than us waiting for it to come to us? And that is because people are not taking enough inspired action. They're not getting in the energy of the thing they want. They're not holding the belief they can have it. They're not even really sure they want it. And it's honestly because we live in a world where we are overstimulated. So we're constantly scanning, looking at all these things. We're constantly drained and exhausted because we're not sleeping properly. We're dehydrated. We're not drinking enough quality water. And if we're drinking tap water, right, you've got to be drinking filtered electrolyte water. If you're not eating quality food, your blood sugars are probably unstable, so your mood's probably unstable. If your gut health and your hormonal health's up shit creek, you're not going to be regulated. And all of these things affect your vibration. So if you are trying to create change or trying to manifest something or trying to design a new life, but you're not giving these things a priority, you are missing the biggest trick of all. And that is stepping into and becoming and reprogramming the autonomic nervous system, as well as reprogramming the habits and thoughts in your mind. And in turn, both of those things shifting and leveling up your vibration. And as a result of shifting and leveling up that vibration, you then become a magnet and a match for the things that you are seeking. But too many people are obsessed with what they need to do outside of them without doing the work inside of them. Guys, the Becoming course was created for this exact fucking reason. This is why I created the course, right? And if you missed out on the launch price, you can still get the course. You can still enroll. It's just a little bit more. It's still on a 3-month payment plan. But you have to know that this isn't like, oh, okay, well, I'll take care of myself 2 days a week and then hope the other 5 days catches up. Like, guys, let's do maths, right? Like if 10% of your day isn't perfect, you have a chocolate bar every day, as long as you're not dairy intolerant, you have half a glass of wine every day. Like these things are marginal. But what most people do is be good 3 or 4 days a week and then blow it 3 or 4 days a week and live under this delusion or illusion that they're going to create something massively radically different in their life. And I can tell you energetically, you are not. Gut health, absolutely not. Hormonal health, absolutely not. The key to creating actual, real, lasting change is to become by changing both the nervous system and the mind. Because when we change the way we think about things, we change the way we feel about things, we change the way that we act. And when we change the way energy is stored in the body, whether that's physically in the organs, how the organs operate, and on a kind of deeper spiritual energy point of view, when we change the way the energy is stored and we change and release what is shifted, we allow ourselves to not only level up our vibration, but step into the next level version of ourselves. So if you are not making health a priority and you have some manifestation goals right now, I am telling you, it is important that you step into and prioritize the big five: sunlight, water, quality nutrition, sleep, and exercise. And if you're not doing those things, or you feel like you're a bit lost, you're not sure, you feel like you need help with those things, reach out to me. I can give you the information on the Thrive program. It could be something that could help you to that next level. So that was all I had to say today. I felt like I needed to have an effective rant. I love you all so much. And next week, I'm going to be talking about something a little bit controversial. So I hope you love it. It's a little bit about my experience with something controversial. And then we're going to talk about money again. We're bringing back money. We're going to talk about money. We're going to talk about manifestation. We're going to talk about wealth. We're going to talk about abundance. We're going to talk about manifesting. We're going to set some free challenges. There's going to be a ton of other stuff. So yeah, I cannot freaking wait. As always, I would love you to leave me a review, drop me a message, drop me a tag on Instagram. I always love to hear and see who is watching / listening to the podcast. You can watch the podcast live on Spotify. We do a video podcast now, or you can catch them on YouTube underneath the podcast and on all good podcast platforms. But as always, I would love a review, love to hear from you, love to hear from my listeners and my viewers. And otherwise, I will see you on the next episode.